Hello, aloha, Swastiastu from Bali. We'll see who starts to pop on here in the next few minutes. I imagine most of the sisters and the women and brothers, you're welcome. You're welcome to watch as well. I don't have any specific offerings for you at this time, but I have information to share that I know can help any human. So children, women, men, you're all welcome. And thank you for joining. Hello, aloha from Portland, Oregon. Hello. Oh, I want to call you by another name. What name do you go by? I Fly. Can you tell me, sweetheart? Stephanie Sue just joined. Hello. Ann Larson from Michigan. Minnesota. Oh my goodness, I'm never going to get that right. That part of the country is still very foreign to me. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining. So I'm in Bali here. It's probably getting to be almost dream time for most of you. And I'm here with many things to say. I have a message, first of all, that feels like it's been kind of burning inside of my heart in a good way. In a good way, I'm just feeling really passionate about this message and just wanting to get it out to anyone who needs to hear it, where it can just really help you to navigate whatever it is that you might be navigated, and to transform whatever it is that you are feeling called to transform next in your life. And so that's the first part of this. And Lisa, that's your name, Lisa. Thank you for reminding me of that. It's good to have you. Thank you for joining. I also have a couple of invitations that I will get to as well. And with this full moon coming up, I'm so curious how many of you out there are feeling the intensities of the moon. I also have my feminine moon arriving as well in the next couple of days, so maybe I'm just feeling some of that too in the air. But I feel like so many people I am in communication with right now are just dealing with a lot. And so I just feel for a lot of people, and I will not exclude us from that. Life is a trip. Life is amazing. It's so amazing, isn't it? And just when we think we can't expand more to juggle that next ball, to get through whatever it is we have to get through, somehow, at least I hope for most of us, we find the strength, we find the path, and we get that support through seen and unseen forces to get through whatever it is that we need to get through, and enjoy the fruits of that expansion on the other side. So I'm currently, we are still trying to get our taxes in. I think we have a couple of hours, and our 4-year-old son is sick still, so he's been having to stay home. And so Dada Nova DeSala is actually tending to baby Sakai in the bedroom so that I can be out here with you all right now. And just, yeah, getting ready for the tour of our lives, coming out to North America next month. So just booking all these flights and searching for a vehicle and a camper, since we don't actually live in North America anymore. It's really different experience trying to get back out there and figure out how to get around and where to stay. If any of you watching are on the path of where we're going, we'd love to see you, meet up. It's going to be, I'm with the Wanderlust Festival tour, but I'm sure that we'll do a couple of little things here and there in Denver, Colorado, and possibly in Salt Lake City, Utah, and possibly in Asheville, North Carolina. But I'm actually not here to talk about any of that right now. So I think where I want to go next is this message about the three biggest barriers, right, to transformation, to living in flow. And these are the barriers that I have found most common in my own experience in life, and also the barriers that I have noticed in my many years now of working with women and clients in this line of work. And so it's really interesting to see which pieces are the most common that come up. And I actually just finished up with a client, a new client this morning, and one of these came up again, and it yeah, I'll just get right to it. When you have a goal, let's just call it a goal, whether it is with your health, whether it's wanting to manifest your soulmates, or get clear about your career path, or maybe it's financial abundance that you're calling in, or just maybe it's just being able to live debt-free for many of us, right? Whatever it is, the biggest, number one biggest barrier to having that goal become a reality is being able to not just see it, but to taste it, to feel it, to be able to describe the details of the sky and the clouds in that future moment that it has manifested, to be able to dissolve the limits of the perceived limits of time, and to actually go into the future and create this vision and hold it and see it and nurture it and allow it to just unfold. So I remember when it was difficult for me to visualize, actually, but I've taken it for granted. I realize over many years now of practicing, it's become so easy to vision. And I'm humbled in realizing that there's still, you all, the majority of women, people that I work with, and even friends and family members, find it really, really challenging to close the eyes, place hands on heart or womb, to breathe. Just this can be really challenging for many, to just sit and breathe. But then to bring in this other piece of being able to see a clear picture of yourself in the future with the most genuine smile and the most genuine joy, the most genuine fulfillment, to be able to feel that, even though it is not your current experience, to be able to see it. I really have a deeper than ever appreciation for how difficult this task can be. However, the good news is that it just takes practice. And no matter who you are, no matter where you are in your journey, if you can just give a moment a day to that practice, and if it's fuzzy, let it be okay, and just commit to coming back to it. It's really simple in the sense that it's just your brain and your nervous system and those neural connections that just haven't had a chance to form yet. That's all it is. And you can really take control. I don't use the word control, but you can get into the driver's seat of this process of your life by practicing this one thing. I just, I don't know why my heart feels heavy when I see that so many people have a hard time just being able to see. And I'm here right now sharing this because I've had the privilege and the honor now of taking many, many, many women on this journey. And through those experiences and through that experience have come to a place where I can promise you that journeys like this, whether it's with me or anybody else, but programs like this, they work. They can really, really help. In fact, I'll never forget one of my mentors, his name is Chris, actually, who was, I believe, the first one to really help me in this process of being able to see and to vision, and it changed my life completely. So, hi Bev, hi Vanessa, hi, thank you all for joining, and maybe you can just chime in where you are joining from. Are you at home? Are you on vacation? How are you? Do you have any questions about anything up until now? Do you have this challenge actually, or does it feel easy? I'm curious of those of you who are watching this right now, is that a process that comes easy to you? And does it feel natural? And if it does, has it always felt natural? Has it always felt easy? So curious about that. And or does it feel challenging? Or maybe some of you have never even tried it before. Maybe it's something you can just try right now. And let me know. Let me know how it is for you. So the second barrier that I notice is when people, and this one is really for all people, all humans, whether you're a man or a woman, when you have this goal, whatever it is, maybe it's to release an addiction, maybe it's just to change the way that you speak about something, your languaging, to empower it, to come from a more empowered place in your language, whatever it is, right? You have this goal and you take action, and you have these actions that you take every day. In the coaching world, this is kind of what we do, and you even have this accountability program, and you have an accountability buddy and all of that. That's all great. That's all great. And it's very important to have all of that. However, one of the things that I see as the biggest barrier is not coupling that transformational work with movement, with your body, and not just any kind of movement. I'm not talking about even sitting meditation, actually. Or taking a bike ride or a hike, or which is also very important too, to get out into nature. But I'm talking about the kind of movement that actually has you rewire your brain and your nervous system, the kind of movement that comes with cross-patterning, and whether it's in dance, that's why dance is so powerful, and the flow arts, for me, this is where I had no idea. When I started spinning fire and poi and hoops and all of that, when all of that came into my life, even as a neuroscientist, I had no idea just how powerful all of that was going to be in catalyzing, just like igniting and making that change and that transformation happen explosively, just really, really fast, to literally rewire the way that you move, the way that you speak, to allow a new relationship with feeling awkward, to rise up and to be willing to keep showing up in an awkward space, to create something new in your body. And I think athletes, I'm certain that most athletes have this knowing, because they have to do all this all the time in their visualization, in their path of competitive sports and that sort of thing. I'm curious how many athletes actually take that technology and apply it to their personal lives to create new versions of themselves and that sort of thing. However, I think the majority of people that I'm talking to right now, myself included, and the majority of people that are walking the earth right now really don't consider themselves an athlete. I don't really consider myself an athlete. Like, I think of like, I don't know, I think of like football players and Olympic athletes, like these like high caliber superhumans. They're like superhumans, right? They can do these things with their bodies that I can't even imagine. However, what I'm learning is that we are actually all athletes, all of us. We're all athletes, and there's no better or worse. It's part of our work too, is like, how can I not judge, right? And that, oh, that's a more supreme version of an athlete than my version of being an athlete. So there's that. And oh, let me just see here. Movement is what I need. Cross patterning, a new term I need to learn. Yes, cross patterning. And let me just say another little thing about that. And I think I actually only have like 5 minutes left because we need to go into Ubud. But one really fascinating fact that I learned that I like to share with people is that the most, and this most, just about every developmental neurologist and psychologist would agree that the most powerful thing that any of us did to develop the brain and the nervous system was to learn how to crawl when we were babies. And so that was the first cross-patterning kind of attempt, right? First patterning behavior action that we took. And so that's all I'll say about that, but I'm sure you can imagine the implications of that. And also around this cross-patterning of movements are the implications, huge implications around releasing trauma. And I don't have time to get into that right now, but I'm sure there's a few somatic health professionals out there. Yeah, how many are there actually? I'm so curious, like, where are you and what do you do? And are you in this line of work of helping people to heal and to release trauma? Because this is definitely something huge. And again, I don't have time to talk about that, but I'll make more time in the future. The third, this one is more for the women. However, if you're a man watching this right now, I feel like this is something to try on. Actually, I'll say it, and then, you know, I am curious how it lands for the men out there. Thanks for all the love, guys. That feels really nice. So the third barrier to biggest barrier to transformation and living a life of flow and being in flow would be, in my opinion, of course, all of this is my opinion based on experience and studying and training, is the belief that it has to be difficult. The belief that, like, I don't know, lazy is not the word I'm thinking. It just popped into my mind, but like, oh, this is going to be so hard. I'm going to have to like force myself to get up at 5 a.m. and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to have to force myself to engage in all these actions every week. And I'm going to be tired. I'm already tired. Like, how can I add more to my plate? And it's just going to be so hard because we live in a world where we need to force and prove. And can anyone relate to this? This has been my biggest barrier. It was. However, in the last couple of years, and since giving birth to Sakai, that was the biggest until I went through human pregnancy and childbirth and all of that. You don't have to go through any of that to I feel, know this wisdom. It lives inside of all of us. But the wisdom and the truth of that the most beautiful things that we could possibly create in our lives and in the world can't be forced. That we actually have a responsibility to our souls to partner with spirit and to partner with nature, and not just the nature out there, but the nature inside, the nature, the wisdom of our DNA, of our cellular existence, all of that, to partner and trust. When we were in the womb, every single one of us have been inside of a womb. When we were first conceived, there was nothing to force. There was nothing to figure out. Life just happened. And it was so miraculous. Like, we are literally walking miracles. And somehow we live in a world that has done an amazing, impressive job at having so many of us forget that we are miracles, forget that miracles are possible, that we really can create anything. And it doesn't have to be hard. It's not meant to be hard. Yes, life is going to be up and down, and we're going to experience loss and feel despair and grief and all of that. Of course, that's natural. That's natural. But the belief that, hey, if I want to be this person or this thing or this beautiful dancer, or this if I want to be a mother, or if I want to fall in love, or if I want to create a career where I'm helping people and making a difference and able to support myself and live a sustainable life, all of that, this belief that, well, yeah, that's not me, and it's going to be hard. So anyway, that's the third barrier, and this one I haven't talked much about, because it was kind of an experiment that I did a couple of years ago, when it was born a couple of years ago, this idea. Ease is possible. Beautiful. Thank you for your comments and chiming in. Sometimes it can be kind of, I'm like, okay, the birds can hear me. I know the birds can hear me. Actually, Made's here. Hi, Made. She's our helper in the house. And so I really appreciate those comments. So this is a perfect segue, actually, into the invitation. We have a couple of spots left for this 22-week women's journey of birthing your bliss, awakening your inner fire, and really working on all of these three things, these barriers, and transforming these barriers into really just the beautiful fuel that they can be. And so I know I put it out there, I make these posts, I send these emails, but I realized I hadn't actually put out a face-to-face, heartfelt invitation to the women in the world who are calling something like this in, and just to let you know that it does exist, and it's here, and it's available. And yeah, this is, it's been the most amazing evolution of my work, and how it kind of came to be. Short story is me working with my mentors and coaches, business coaches and healers, and I got really frustrated with this very masculine approach to that I was being held in a space that was it was just a very masculine space of like, okay, like, we got to crack that whip, come on, like, what's wrong, like, we got to get this done. And also, if you're going to do a journey like this for women, you can't have just 12 women. No, you need to open the gates. You need to open the gates, and come on, you can get like 50 women in here and make, you know how much money you can make, like that kind of energy. And it just made me sick. It just, every day that I would get into these conversations, it just made me sick to my stomach. It just didn't feel right. And I thought, but out of that, what was birthed was this realization that, wait a minute, okay, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. And what if I created a coaching program that was designed and aligned with the wisdom of the feminine, in balance with the structures and the safety and the power of the masculine, right? Not to say there's no power in feminine, but in balance, but bringing these, just bringing a softer sort of more flow, allowing just a container where things can just flow, and everything doesn't have to be on a timeline and on a checklist. And when I did that last year with the first 9-month journey, I could not believe just how much could happen without the timelines. Without, I mean, suggested timeline, yes, but deadlines, no deadlines. And so what I've learned in my own life and in the lives of the women who show up and take it on is that there's so much more that can be created, and from such from just a more genuinely joyful place with these different kind of guidelines. And so I'm doing it again. It's 22 weeks, and again, if any of this resonates, if any of this resonates, the link is in the post above. I invite you to check it out. And it would be my greatest honor and pleasure, greatest pleasure to share this journey with you. I'm already so excited. I feel like there's a few of you who are on this call right now who are doing the journey. Heidi just joined. Hi, sweetie. Heidi was on the 9-month journey, and she was one of the many women who proved to me that this actually works when women and men give themselves permission to come home to their hearts, to their womb space, to the miracle that they truly are, and to not try and force anything, but to just let it happen and let it flow. Just how much can happen. So anyway, there's we have, I think, 8 women already signed up, and there's only 12 spots, and that is important to me. It was already, we had 11, I think, last year, and those calls were pretty full. So also, I want to speak to the scholarship piece real quick. I wasn't really thinking about scholarships until this woman from Africa. She lives in Ghana, and I won't say her name. I'll let her share her story at some other time. But she's just been reaching out to me over the past year now, and it was a little bit disjointed, the communication at first, because she was just going through a lot of like life in this village in Ghana that she lives in is very, very different from the life that most of us are familiar with. And so I'm still processing and digesting, like, wow, what her life is like. But she is she's a bright soul, and she reached out and felt like this journey was something that she really needed in her life, to birth this vision that she has to bring her healing gifts, to bring education like this, to empower the people in her village. So it's just a really, really beautiful vision. And so I actually heard a voice the other night laying in bed, and the voice said, give her a scholarship. And so I did. I offered her up the scholarship, and her application's coming in. And so I'm really, really excited to have her on this journey. And wow, I'm getting all emotional. And that is actually a dream come true for me, because in doing this work, I love working with all the women that I do. I love working with all the people that I do. And I also, for the most part, I come from a pretty privileged space. I mean, yes, I had trauma in my life and all of that. However, there's so many women out there who are not as privileged as most of us. And so yeah, so I'm just really happy. I didn't know how to go about it. Like, oh, I need to create a nonprofit and do all this paperwork to really extend and extend these kinds of offerings and some of this education to women who can't afford it. And so I'm really just excited to have her, and I feel like the number is 2. There's one other spot that I'm energetically holding for it may not be that kind of situation. And so if you're watching this and you are a woman who knows that this is something that you've been calling into your life, but the monetary part just doesn't, you can't, like, it's just not there, let me know. And maybe we can work something out. And yeah, that just feels really good to me. So I wanted to share that, and then that would leave 2 spots for the other beautiful women to come in. And if you apply within 24 hours of seeing this video, we will extend the early bird for you, and you'll know. That's one thing that I love about this work is, again, there's no forcing. And I think what has made these journeys so beautiful is that the only women who show up are the women who feel strongly called. And so it is more of a destiny that we all get to weave and dance together. So if you're feeling it, either you know or you don't. So if you know, I urge you to honor that. And if you don't, that's okay too. Thank you for listening. And I hope that some of this has been helpful, inspiring in any way. I love you guys. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you. I think that is it. Full moon. There's a full moon gathering that we're doing. That's another thing we at NaiAsa Institute. Hey, baby, you can come here if you want now. No? That's felt important as well. We don't have a physical yoga shala yet, but we will on our land in Bali, a yoga goddess flow temple. But until then, that doesn't mean that we can't gather in our virtual temple. So we are gathering. Hi, Tika. Here's a hello. Auntie Heidi's out there. Auntie Jen, Christian's mama, is out there. So we're gathering in the virtual temple this Thursday night for the full moon, and teaming up with Tracy Knowles and with Cassandra, because the 3 of us, it was just flow. It was pure flow in the retreat that we just did in Bali. I don't know if I've ever experienced that with other facilitators on that level of just being able to read each other's minds and energy and have so much fun co-creating medicine and magic and yeah. So anyway, the 3 of us are coming together for this virtual event. That link is up in the post as well. So I believe that's it. It's 12:22. Should mommy be done with work now? Do you want mommy to be done with work? Yeah. Why do you want mama to be done with work?
Build a tree house.
To build a tree house. Okay, we're gonna build a Lego tree house now. So anyway, thank you so much, everyone. Just my heart is just exploding with so much happiness and joy, and the thought of seeing some of you in person this summer, I can't even imagine. I can actually, and it makes me so happy. So blessings. Can you say namaste with me? Yeah.
Namaste.
With your hand.
Namaste.
Namaste. Oh. All right. Have a great night, guys. Bye-bye.
Namaste.